Well, whatever the sketch was, it started a fight between two of our friends. Where Tim,
Are they not friends?
No, they're friends.
They are friends.
Yeah, Tim and Che
Friends
have
or
known each other.
acquaintances?
I'd probably go acquaintances more than friends.
Okay.
What sketch? I thought it was more of an Instagram.
I mean, I think it was
that he put up.
Well, it was just Tim being like, SNL isn't funny anymore. It hasn't been funny in a while, and it isn't funny now. And then
friends with both of them.
Che was like,
I'm friends with both of them in the same like acquaintance. You know what I mean? I was like, I started comedy before them, so it's not they're not my like immediate like.
Yeah,
they're both of them are my friends.
Calls, but yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, I could call both of them, and I just think it's funny to watch two of my friends.
I like them both so much.
Fight publicly.
Yeah,
it's also funny when two of your friends that have both gotten famous fight. That you're kind of like,
I know.
I'm going to watch this from where everyone else is.
Does it not weigh on you at all? Damn,
I don't give
hate
a shit.
I hate.
You're
when
like,
my friends
Myrtle,
fight.
get on my side. Grab
I
the
said I'm not-
popcorn. Let's get.
I'm not even tight with either of them, but like, I definitely like. I hate it.
You hate what?
I hate when like friends fight. If it was like Tim Dillon versus like fucking,
they both looked kind of dumb, so it was fun to watch.
What was
like Tim got like, was Tim getting braggadocious?
No,
like,
Tim just basically said like, yeah, he did get braggadocious once it got into a thing.
Yeah,
because they got into it where Tim Dillon made a bunch of tweets about saying SNL isn't funny, hasn't been funny. It was funny. There were moments that it was funny back in the day. That the old argument that SNL gets hit with at least 5 times a season.
Yeah,
it's not good. It hasn't been good. It's dead. Che just was like, I'm not looking for trouble. He did it in a very Che way. I also think Che is fucking much smarter than people are giving him credit for because his Netflix special comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this was a way to fucking drum up some. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Some hoo-ha.
Some hoo-ha
Yeah,
is the
man.
best way to put that. But Che basically was like, not Tim Dillon. He was like, Tim Dillon? Tim Dillon hates SNL now. And that was basically his point, is like everybody comes from SNL, for SNL. And then Che was like, I don't care, I know he kind of shit on Tim. Because he was like, Tim fucking did.
On Patreon.
And someone was like, he makes $190,000 a month on Patreon. And he's like, I don't care if it's a zillion. I know Tim Dillon, and he ain't what you think he is. He's a sweet, humble guy who really tried at stand-up, got nowhere, which is incorrect.
Why is Tim not what you think he is?
I think Che is just trying to talk shit in a way of being like.
But what do people think he is that he's not?
Man, people are people are indoctrined with Tim Dillon.
They love him.
They are like, people are.
Oh, I know. So fun. Now that was fun.
Meeting people out in the wild who are like, I listen to everything he says. I fucking love it. And you're like,
the problem with having your.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, the problem with having your fans like be like sycophantic like that too much. And not just be like humanized to you. The problem with that is exactly what like Che got to call. I just saw the back and forth on Instagram, and the one thing that Che said, it wasn't even to Tim. It was some guy going like, he goes, "Fuck you, dude." Blah blah blah. Tim Dillon is a god. Blah blah blah. And he goes, "Are you calling another man a god?"
Yeah, that
sounds
That's
lame.
the
dude.
Rogan shit, dude.
Yeah,
people
you're right.
are so fucking on board with whatever Rogan says because he makes dumb people feel smart. And Tim,
That is kind of what it is, isn't it?
is,
I think
dude.
Rogan's a smart enough guy, but I mean, like,
Joe Rogan's very smart,
But
but
it's not that.
he does a thing to his fans where they're like, I listened to a 3-hour episode and I can tell you everything I know about virology.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, and I'll admit that to you.
do you want to know why maybe the Earth is flat?
Also, what's funny about that is Rogan did do that. He hit this specific audience of the funniest tweet I saw was when
But
someone
I don't
said
think he's beholden to what people. Same with Tim. I don't think it's Tim's fault. Someone goes, "Tim's a god." I just go, "It's like, all right, dude, settle down."
Tim's very, very funny and
Yeah.
very, very
hilarious,
smart.
yeah.
I think it's funny. I read a tweet. There's just one of those tweets that you're like, I wish I could credit it because I think it's one of the most perfect tweets ever where they said, Joe Rogan is Gwyneth Paltrow for men.
Yes. Yeah, dude.
That's fucking perfect. He's Goop. He's just Goop. Or he's like, try this, and he's like, man, you should really try this. And everyone's like, I love it. And it's a disconnect that makes people who aren't fans of him be like, you guys know you're dumb, right?
Right.
Like, kind of the way that people shit on the Bonfire Facebook group, because they're very like, it's very sycophant. It's very like positive.
It's sycophant. They just say it's just positive.
It's love, man.
It's
big ups to all the fucking Facebook.
Pander, pandering.
Yeah.
That's a pander lick.
You don't even
You're
wanna get
pandering. I think it's great, but I also think it's like you can be What's so ironic about this is when Yamanika came on the show and had a problem with Doug Stanhope, and Doug came in hammered, and Yamanika and Doug got into that thing on the show. Sure. And then Doug went to DePaulo's. My favorite line of the whole thing, he goes, "I'm going to walk over and do Nick DePaulo's show, a real racist." And then he walked over there. But
his last words, he goes, "Fix this, Jay."
Yeah.
Remember? And I go, what?
Yeah. But then you got a text from Rogan that said, "Hey, I listened, and Doug is a little too insulated right now, and that's why he's not listening to the outside opinions." That was like his opinion of it. And it's funny that Rogan would say that because I think he's too insulated. Now, he's got $100 million. He lives in Texas, and he was a kingmaker. He made 7 of his friends millionaires.
Yeah.
Millionaires. And then now it's like a weird thing with, you could see, one time I was doing a joke at the stand where I was making...
great Tony... Hinchcliffe thing.
Oh, we said Joe Rogan. He's like,
"I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Joe
David Tell can't.
David Tell should started a fucking podcast."
Yeah, he goes, "Sorry, David Tell can barely afford to take any of you out to dinner." I was like, that was so fucking good. Hinchcliffe had some fucking monster jokes.
David Tell is very, very generous, Tony Hinchcliffe.
He is. But I really think that is a thing of, like you get your people and they kind of build around you, which can also be said about Che. Che and Tim suffer from the same thing. Che is at SNL where it's just everyone's like, Saturday Night Live, it's so, oh my God, oh, it's so, like they treat him like a deity. And same with Dillon. Yeah, exactly. And then they bump into it because they're not still on the road.
Deity's a god, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm no Joe Rogan.
But I'm saying,
if they were like, "Hey, I got a guy wrote a book about deities and people wanting to be deities," I go, "I can't have that guy on. I don't know what that means."
Yeah, and honestly, I only learned that because of a word puzzle that I did 3 days ago.
Recently.
Is it about
Oh,
Dee
you
Snider?
couldn't wait to use deity. Dude, me and you, the show works because we are the exact stupid.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
The exact same stupid.
I'm dumb, and I wear it. I wear it
There's a
proudly.
word. Someone said on the phone to me the word caustic, and I nodded on a phone.
You know what I'll do? I'll do big swings at words that I think I know what they mean, and Katie will be like, "What do you think? What do you think that means?" And I'll be like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Bro, I've been using.
What do you think it means?
I've been using gregarious wrong for 8 years. I'm just like, that's how Greg would do it.
Yeah, but that's also
that's very gregarious. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
my boy Greg would totally do
My
that.
boy Greg would do that all
Hot
the time.
sauce on mac and cheese, that's gregarious. That's a Greg thing.
Not to be confused with Dan-tastic, putting ranch on my pizza.
Oh, man, that's
But
automatic.
also, don't sell both of yourselves short because you guys are smart in the areas that you're interested in. Like, you know about the 49ers.
Well, I know they're
you
going to.
know
I know they might.
about
I know
corn.
I know they might take a beating tonight against the Rams.
You guys are in a shit sitch.
I don't know,
You
dude.
guys
I
are-
don't know. I'm not excited about playing the Super Rams.
I don't want to talk sports
which,
with Josh.
Fuck everybody that's into the Rams now. Suck my dick.
That's everybody
Josh,
from LA.
Josh
man.
is having one of those sports years right now. I don't like it.
We're killing it,
I don't
dude.
like it.
Every one of my teams, everyone. The Wizards are atop of the East. The fucking
Ravens or
No,
I'm
he's
not
not
a
a
Ravens
Ravens.
fan.
He
I'm watching the
skins.
football team.
okay.
I'm watching
No,
the
no.
football team.
He skins all day long.
And he says it with a hard R. Redskins.
Redskins.
Yeah. I even heard you print.
Feel the heat.
I heard you even print out old treaties between natives and whites and rip it up on game day.
Dude, I scalp my next door
Yeah.
neighbor.
You go, oh my God, dude.
I love it, dude. This is like the best. This never happens. The Wizards are the best
No,
team
enjoy
in the NBA. I'm loving every second
Enjoy
of it. And I'm friends with the old play-by-play guy that just got fired, so I get the inside scoop, and I'm talking to him.
That's fun. It's
just-
fun.
especially when you didn't
I only
expect it.
I think I have a season or two more before McDaniel ends up in Indianapolis or Jacksonville, and I have to wear one of those colors, twice a week.
You gotta wear the other team.
I told you that story when we were at the Lions game.
He's like, you'll be there, right?
My friend. So I
yeah,
grew up
your
with
buddy.
my
Yeah.
buddy who was a coach for the 49ers, but we grew up in Colorado. So my other friend that we went to high school with, Chad, goes to the games with me sometimes. And we were sitting at the Lions game, and he looked over at me at week 1. He goes, "So when McDaniel goes to another team, you're going to go to week 1 of that game too, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." If it's like the Seahawks or a team I hate, I'm going to have a very hard time doing that.
Yeah. Well, I don't want not to jump.
Yeah, we're drifting away.
Not to jump back to.
But Tim and Che seem to be. Tim was just shitting on SNL, and then Che, who doesn't have Twitter, got upset about it, which makes me think he has Twitter.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's gotten upset at all of our friends that have talked shit about SNL.
The thing
Giannis.
I want to say about the smart thing that what I mean, like everyone like worrying about who's smarter and stuff like that, is I am so like I don't want to know. Like a good example was I started getting shit a bit on social media about that we did the thing about Kyle Rittenhouse crying on Skanks, and like he killed within that. I knew about the crying video. Within that episode of Legion of Skanks, I found out that he killed other white people, and then people were saying they were like pedophiles or something that he killed, or some convicted whatever it is.
That's QAnon.
Whatever it is. I don't know. People are going like, you fucking stupid ass motherfuckers, like laughing. Goes, you talking about him crying? Like this guy is a hero to some people. Whatever's going on, and I'm just like, I don't even know exactly what he did or what happened. I'm laughing at a guy. The way he was crying in court is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, there's something about
yeah. How could you say that about a guy? I'm like, I don't know if this guy is crying because he pulled babies out of a fire. It means nothing to me.
Yeah, his blubbering face where he went.
But I do envy, like in some element that Dave Smith, Tim Dillon like has that. Joe Rogan. I bet Joe Rogan's got a lot of ideas and thoughts and read into Kyle Rittenhouse story, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like but what I think the purpose I serve in my call it stupidity is that like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna laugh at the guy crying.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit.
That's why with
someone says somebody goes, he goes, your probably woke daughter making you change your views on it. I'm like, I don't even know what views you're talking about.
But some people listen to these people and they believe it so much because they hold them up to this standard because they said something that made their brain click over to either then sound smart to somebody else.
Hold me to no standard.
Dude, before you jump, I just want to say this because like I didn't realize how much Dave had it until one night we were at the stand and I think you guys were doing Skanks and there was this girl at the bar.
Was Dave there? Smith?
He had just
we
taken
were doing
off.
Skanks.
Yeah, but no, yeah, of course. So
he wasn't on a Thursday showcase show. Dave hasn't done stand-up proper since 2014.
But there was this girl there that was literally holding a binder of notes where she wanted to talk to Dave about his presidential run.
Oh yeah. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I mean, this woman, I got unfortunately stuck talking to her because she was just like, "Do you know Dave?" And she was cute enough. I was like, I don't know,
cute.
I'll rap with her. And then she was like, she opened up the binder and it was like, we have a 4-point plan to take him to the. I was like,
so this is the blessing that comes with the curse of being a wrestling fan. Because my whole life I've liked wrestling and had to defend it in a way where someone's like, it's gay, it's fake, it's stupid, you're stupid, why do you like it? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just nostalgic and I can turn my brain off and watch two, gay men flip each other into tables.
Yeah, you like watching nuts drag across the face.
Ain't no problem with that. But when you admit it, it's so freeing because then I see other wrestling fans that always reminds me of Tim Dillon fans or Che fans or Rogan fans that go too hard in the paint and they're like, okay, but Kenny Omega really is going to put over Hangman Page and you're like, just enjoy the fucking match.
And
then turn it the fuck off.
If Jim Norton taught us nothing, and that's why I said I think that's completely like, you could definitely have private life and be into odd things behind closed doors if that's what you're into. But like, if you get like exposed even, like I don't think people ever see that. The easiest way to like shut all that up quick is just go, it's like, yeah. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like Norton's is like, yeah, I like
trans
getting pissed on and I like trans like women. I was like,
yeah,
that's what I like. I'm into it. And after a while he goes like, this guy likes fucking trans women. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can make a funny joke and still everyone could laugh. It's not a thing about that.
I remember one time we had an interesting conversation because he talked about how he liked beefy pussies. When he does fuck, he's like, I like very beefy pussies. And I was like, let's get into this. Is very fascinating.
That's the thing to learn in comedy across the board. Like if you say, that's why people connect to comedy, especially when you're saying things like, I know a bunch of people in this room are going to be like, ew, but some people will be like, I get it.
But I think that's the weird part of where we're at right now with comedy is comedy's been so successful for the last decade that people stopped looking at us as just like, oh, these guys are going to make fun of everything and started being like, can I have the answers?
Yeah.
Can I please have the answers? What are the answers to this? And you're like, I don't fucking know.
It's this time. It's with the misinformation that we're getting from both sides of the news media.
Well, that's why
people are looking at podcasting and they're just believing it because they're getting fed bullshit from every direction.
And what's
Dan told me that he doesn't even know if Black Lives Matter. He hasn't done the research.
I know.
I haven't. I know that Asian lives matter. I've gotten that far in the color spectrum.
It's a long book.
I'm getting to Latinos are next. It's alphabetical. And you would think black is right after Asian, but I skipped to Latinos. Because I know Lou's penchant for spicy women.
Yeah, Puerto Rican shirts.
Yeah, but there is like people getting too involved and also when you listen to something a lot, you start to feel like this camaraderie where you're like, oh, I will go to war for these people.
Yeah.
I will go to war, and you're like, you gotta. It's
also,
like it's any kind of fandom.
Listen, it would be great in an actual war, but it's a problem that exists when your infantry stands nothing to lose in their minds.
Yeah.
So the problem is they sometimes go a little too hard in the paint. You're like, I got it. Like, let me just I could talk about.
Well, that ended up being the problem with Opie and Anthony. They ended up being like, we'll burn down anybody, and then their fans were like, how about we burn you down? And they were like, oh fuck, and then they just went after all of them. It wasn't like just Opie caught it, Anthony caught it, Jim caught it, everybody caught it, because it was just like this thing of, if you breed that kind of thing of like, I'm wrong, I'm right, everyone else is wrong, destroy everyone else, then it's like, fuck, I don't want to hang out with that.
But we'd be hypocritical too with like a Tim Dillon thing and Che getting into that to like Tim could say whatever you want. I don't know. It's like in my mind.
I love Tim Dillon, and I fucking love Michael Che, and I think them fighting is so stupid and funny that I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, it's not going to mean anything ultimately.
It doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying, like, but what's with Tim? I'm like, was it to protect Joe Rogan? Like to come with the thing?
No, Tim genuinely.
He doesn't need to. I know he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's what I thought at first. I was like,
just sticking up for his boy.
I thought is he sticking up for Joe because of that sketch? But then I read it and I was like, oh, Tim actually has a good point. He's like, it's just lazy. It was just like lazy punchlines and stuff where you're like, he's not wrong.
It's a weekly sketch show.
But that's that was the
when
opener.
Do they have nuance?
But that was the opener. Like their opener is
the episode I'm telling you in general was just sort of backwards. Like they were back-ended with some funnier stuff than they were in the front. And it was.
But to argue for their side, it's got to be fucking so hard to make a 90-minute show in 5 days. And with someone that.
And you're trying to please.
The
bulk is the middle of the country. So you know what I mean?
I think they're way more liberal than.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't think they ever really try to stick it. Like old.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, no, it's definitely very, very liberal.
Old SNL used to kind of be in the middle. Like Norm would shit on people on Weekend Update, and then he'd shit on Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
he had a great Hillary Clinton bit that someone posted on Twitter after he died that I would love to find.
They're steering clear of really ripping in the Biden because.
He's old. And
I just think they're like
the crypt keeper that runs our country.
They're probably just so happy. They're so happy it's not Trump.
Man.
Yeah,
actually, or maybe they're bummed that it's not Trump, so they can fucking have those jokes every week. But that was getting tiresome for sure. With the over Trump shit.
Well, the new guy that does that's what's crazy. And what I said to Shane. So it's like the new guy that does Trump, everyone's like, this guy's Trump's so good. And I listened to 2 seconds of him, like, doesn't even kind of compare to Shane.
Who's doing it?
Well, Shane,
I don't know.
Or
He's
like,
a talented dude, but I'm saying like Shane has it down in a way that like when someone has a perfect, it's like Bob DeBono doing Rich Voss.
Sure.
I just like love to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you just do it for me?
I just love his voice.
Yeah, because you do it perfectly. And Shane does. Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is 9 minutes of him shitting on Hillary Clinton. But Norm would go after everybody. And I just feel kind of like the recent SNL is like, well, we'll just make fun of the Republicans. It's like there's so many people to make fun of in the Democratic Party.
Is Joe Rogan like a Republican figure?
Kind of.
I think he's moving towards that.
Yeah, it's just like he's being defended a lot by Fox News because of like when he took the ivermectin or whatever the fuck that shit was. Yeah. Like all the liberals are against that.
Well, now and everyone's freaking out. They're going, "It's not horse medicine. Stop saying it."
It's not though.
I know
that is true.
But then it's funny to freak out about that.
But to me, it's like that's where I'm saying. Where's the people who live in the world like? They go, no, dude, it's not actually horse medicine. Like, it can be used if certainly for
can be used as a
but it's a people medicine. You go, okay. And then when someone goes, like, yay, it's a horse medicine, and you go, sure. Like, I don't know why people get so. That's what I'm saying. Like, the ire that it builds up on that. Like, what do you like? Are you Judge? Are you Democratic or Republican?
I lean Democratic, but I'm kind of middle of the road because both sides have turned me off so much.
Both sides are so gay.
What are you, Black Lou?
Fuck everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Can that be our political party? Just fuck everybody?
But I don't even have...
Everybody's a bunch of dorks.
I mean, fuck everybody in the most dismissive of ways. I'm not even like, they're trying to hurt me. And I'm like, politics does nothing in my world, really.
Anytime I see somebody with a political sticker on their car, I'm like, man, imagine caring that much that you put it on your bumper and you're like,
Well, dude, we
check out this fucking fly ass.
We know we got the stuff.
Celica.
Did you get some of the shit about the people complaining about the first, which we have to finish, of the insurrection documentary.
Oh yeah.
And
Those
people were like,
"Fucking crybaby,
you fucking don't even know," and you're saying,
Yeah.
I thought you're
Shut
not
up,
political.
you
I thought you're not political. I
dipshit.
go, I don't even know what they busted into this thing for. Still, I watched the documentary.
Yeah,
I'm making fun of a guy walking around clueless in the thing and not knowing what to do.
I would have made fun of the same thing if it was.
Is that Theodore Roosevelt?
Yeah, I would have made fun of the same exact thing if it was 49er fans rioting at a tailgate.
Yeah.
I would have been like, look at these fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Look at these idiots. Here's the thing that everybody has their own like sacred cows now. Everyone's like people, a lot of people, Joe Rogan is their sacred cow. They're like, bro, he fucking conquers his inner bitch and he fucking takes alpha brain.
You think he
and
wants
what's that?
You think he wants that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd like to ask him that.
'Cause,
I'd love to ask him. I go, do you want this like sycophantic behavior, or are you kind of like?
I would like to ask Tim that.
I bet you Joe likes it.
Yeah.
Trust me, he does. He's got an ego. I feel like
Tim would like it for a different reason, maybe though.
But
I feel like Tim would be
find
the guy where
the laughable irony in it.
I mean, I've had very real conversations with Tim Dillon recently, and there's a part of me that knows that Tim is kind of like, well, it's a little much. Tim's that guy. Tim's the guy to be like, it's fun up to a point, and then now it's a little. Like, I bet they talked. I bet Tim and Che talked.
Since?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I would put money on the fact that they texted or someone was like...
I thought there was a chance
Che
there was a flare-up that was like almost like calculated to some degree. But
I wouldn't be surprised if
knows?
Che was like, hey, thanks for giving me a little push for my Netflix
I'm going to say
special.
from the beginning, like, let's stir it up a little bit because I got a special coming out.
But that's what it all is. That's what politics is. That's what it all is. It's they get a rise. Motherfuckers watch wrestling.
Wrestling doesn't leak into outside violence.
Do you think SummerSlam made it way into the
but the way that they...
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying their belief in it is like that, but I don't like
ECW used to get fucking real when people would get like...
Yes, but I'm saying what you're saying, and an adult wrestling fan, what you're into there, you are not attacking with the same passion.
No.
That they're...
I'm saying I'm a moderate fan, that I'm like, I like it, but if someone wants to make fun of it... If you were to come over and be like, hey, I'm going to come over and watch SummerSlam and make fun of it with you. In fact, that was what we were going to do on WrestleMania during the pandemic. I'm like, I'll come over and make fun of it. Katie loves watching wrestling with me because I'm the first one to be like, oh, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's so gay. And I'm like, I know, it's real gay. But then also when something's cool, she'll be like, oh, that was a cool move that guy did. I'm like, right? Because I watched that pay-per-view. I watched AEW's Full Gear on Saturday, and we were like, we went away. And I was like, there's a wrestling pay-per-view. And she's like, watch it. I'll go read a book. It's fine. And I watched it, and she walked in the room a couple times and would make fun of it or be like, oh, fuck. We watched the Eddie Kingston CM Punk match. And it was fucking great. That was a great match.
Yeah.
Don't you say anything bad about it,
I did.
or I'll fucking DM you.
I thought those worlds were never going to collide.
But it is a thing where the second... My dad used to make... I think what prepared me for it was I used to love wrestling, renting wrestling tapes. And I loved Hulk Hogan when I was a little kid. And my dad would get hammered and just stir his rum and coke and watch wrestling with me and shit on every match.
He goes, Hogan fucks his best friend's wife.
And he didn't know that yet, but if he knew that, he would have definitely dropped it. Whenever Hogan would Hulk
he's
out,
got a cock like a thermos.
Whenever Hogan would Hulk out like that, my dad would break into a hysterical laughter. Whenever Hulk Hogan would be like, when he go, I wish I could have done that against your mom in court. You just have things where I'd be like, that's really funny. But my dad, it's like, you need that kind of thing. Like, I love the 49ers, but I'm also not one of those guys that's like, stop it! Don't say they suck! You can be like, well, they're not having a good season. And you're like, yeah, it's fucking rough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Liking anything too much is fucking dangerous. Because then you just end up showing your ass.
I don't think you get liking it too much. It's
to the point where you get sycophant. You become a sycophant.
It's something where it's like it infects like other parts of your life.
But but when you're talking about what Rogan's talking about and what Tim Dillon is talking about, which is stuff that's going on in the world, which it's already this very muddy area because, like I said, everybody's getting misinformation. They all feel like they're being lied to. They trust these two people because they laugh and they hear, and like we said, Rogan makes people feel smart. So then they're going to fucking like, they'll be the first people that if he's like, do this, they'll be like, fuck yeah.
But you know how I almost look at it, I see exactly what you're saying.
I don't think Rogan mobilizes.
No, I don't think he does either. But I think he would be a lot more powerful. I think Joe Rogan could reach a lot more people if he was kind of like, remember what Jon Stewart always used to do?
He's reaching plenty of people.
Jon Stewart would always be like, I'm a fucking comic. Why are you listening to me? Stop it. I'm not important.
But Rogan doesn't do that.
I
know.
I
That's
think
what I'm
Jon
saying.
I think
Rogan-
Jon Stewart started to smell his own shit a bit.
But Tim,
At the end, he did, definitely, for sure.
Tim is so big, though, in his world. Like he said, all these people that love him is like, when you listen to Tim Dillon's podcast, you can, like, as a comic, I could be like, everything he's saying is completely ridiculous. Like, his jokes are so,
We used to have car rides where he would say the shit that he says on podcasts, and I'd be like, you don't believe that? He'd be like, well, that's funny. You know?
Exactly.
It's like,
It's a clear.
he's very smart.
Very
so he
smart,
can do these jokes that you're like, oh, this is a
I'm
speech.
saying the same thing with Dave. Like he has the information to base a joke off of.
Listen,
whether it's opinion or not, I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. I just take it in as a joke anyway.
When you're kind of smart in comedy, the one-eyed king is, the one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind.
Nice,
Just
nice
fucking
Minority Report reference.
Thank
dude.
you.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yes, that's right.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, that's a little Oracle in the pool talk.
Yeah, dude.
But it is one of those things where, man, to take it that seriously where you would DM Che and be like, Tim Dillon is a god.
Yeah, that's a weird thing for another guy to say.
I hope that guy, whoever wrote that, I would like to meet him just to be like, what's going on, dude? You need to talk?
Yeah, it's like, dude, that shouldn't be your god. That should be your favorite comedian.
That should be your guy that you're like, listen, I still get nervous around Louis because he's one of my favorite comedians. But I don't think he's a god.
And plus, you don't want him to jerk off on you.
I would love to.
Oh.
Would you let him? Would you let him?
I'd catch it out of the air. I'd one-time it. I'd one-time it, and then I'd LeBron it in my hands.
The mess do like a Braveheart thing. Like, yeah.
I go, give me your essence. Now I'm stronger.
I don't know if it'll ever go out, but Beezer, Brian Six,
yeah,
he did the worst for the festival.
Okay.
One of my favorite stories of all. It was so Philly, and he told it to me, so he was like comfortable. Like doing it, and he was just himself.
Yeah,
and it just read so good with the audience. Because sometimes you worry like
Beezer's one of the funniest human beings walking this planet.
Dude, just the terms. The story is about doing. He's like, I used to sell a bunch of blow, and then I goes, he's like, he made his nut like way early in the weekend, so he was like, no, I could sell all this and make profit, but I was like, no, I'm going to do it all. And he goes, and at one point when he did it, that he went to go try out. He goes, in his mind, he was watching the commercials of like the sick kids who get to play with the professional athletes in town. And he goes, and they've already done the Eagles and the Sixers and stuff and the Phillies. He's like, I'm going to go do it for the Flyers. Himself, his idea. So he drove down there, borrowed a stick that was too small and a ball, and he went down to the parking lot of the Wells Fargo Center. And he goes and started just firing. He goes, dude, I'm gonna go fire some fucking wristers out there. He called them wristers.
That's so
and
funny.
he goes, first one he fired, goes right into the street, right through the fence. There's like a foot between everything and the fence. He goes, gone, ball gone right away. So then I thought I'd start firing off rocks. And then he's like, hey, how's no one watching me yet? And he said he went up to the door. And so I kind of knocking and looking inside. He goes, by the way, it's July. He goes, it's not even hockey season. He's like, I'm looking in there. He goes, no one's like come. And then a cop car comes in the thing. But it kind of came and went. So he was like, but he panicked because he was on coke. So he started to leave. And the only way that he could drive out was to go over the treads the wrong way. And he said he thought that if he would go fast, he was all coked up. He said, if I went fast, he goes, maybe I can like leap over him. He goes, immediately pops the tires, ends the car. He said he runs full speed to his cousin's house not too far away. And he's like, yo, we got to go back because my stuff's in there or whatever. And they go back to it, and it was on fire. The car was completely on fire. Jeez. He goes, then we just went home and reported it stolen.
Dude, he's one of the, I mean, like, you meet him and Kyla, and you're like, oh,
they're real.
You guys are
so
real. Always Sunny in Philadelphia as if they were real people.
Philly power couple.
Yeah.
Philly
the number one Philly power couple.
Yeah. They're so themselves. I love it. It was such a funny fucking story.
Yeah, man. I want him to do that again so I can watch it.
He should tell that on stage just as a joke. I think it's funny enough.
It's absolutely funny enough. Dude. But it's always the Philly. He's like, because he said all the inside references, I guess. If you know hockey, but he's like, I was looking inside, like, I don't know what the fuck I was going to see Ron Hextall or something. Ron Hextall.
Is that Eric Lindros?
Yeah, I just started just to throw out Ron Hextall. This crowd definitely has no idea who Ron Hextall is, but to me, and just saying firing wristers, never changing the idea of what that is, and like, if you don't know, it doesn't matter.
I'm looking for Mike Ricci, and I fucking can't see nobody.
That term saying firing wristers, calling the stick like whatever the brand was.
I love it.
He's like, I got a too small fucking Malvec or whatever the fuck.
It's a fucking shitty product, asshole.
Yeah, dude, he's the fucking man. I love, man, that was so fun. Skankfest, that was some of the most fun, was just seeing everybody you don't ever get to see.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, bees are outside every night holding court, just shitting on an overly high or drunk person. It was such bullying, but it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Because the guy would have no idea.
And then you realize his sensei is Shane. And you're like, this is where you've learned your style.
That's right. I see. You've mastered the style.
You have the young bull style.
Anyway, Che and Tim will be fine. And
They'll be fine.
And that's been our What Fresh segment, everybody.
It is What's Fresh, brought to you by Wendy's. It's better breakfast o'clock at Wendy's. Get a hot and buttery Wendy's breakfast biscuit with bacon or sausage, fresh cracked egg and cheese for just $1. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. That did count. Also, I was just thinking of when I do, like, what would get me upset if I'm a fan and you attacked it? Mm-hmm. Like, what would get you mad if someone was like, fuck, it's not the Sixers.
Wait, what do you mean?
If someone came after something hard that you liked.
What's the thing that I like enough?
What would you get defensive? Like the way people get called Tim Dillon a god, or they get upset about Rogan. Like, what would be the thing where you'd be like, shut up? I think Queens of the Stone Age. Josh Homme, I'd be like, hold on a second, he's a fucking...
Dude, no one
I'd get gay about
owns more Queens of the Stone Age
When I moved, I was like, if they found Josh Homme's body, they could put me as a suspect.
You're a sycophant, dude.
They could put... I'm not a sycophant. But I'm close.
You're on the fucking line,
but I'm towing the line.
Yeah.
I'm towing the fucking line.
You're like, I live my life in drop D tuning, just like Nick Oliveri.
Oh man, I love nothing more than a deep Caius bass.
Oh god,
I've had so many years of callous of some of the things I like that people can laugh at that I like. That like I don't know, like there's nothing I hold that sick. Oh, I said everyone's always like Korn and it's like they're funny. They put my fanship of Korn far heavier than it is. It's like I'm a big fan of Korn for sure, but I also like got to know. I worked with them, is why they're so like in my life.
Sure.
Marilyn Manson was probably my number one, or was always my number one before Korn for sure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But not to say I don't love one more than the other, but like, and Manson even people are like, yeah, he fucking sucks. Like, sure,
okay.
I don't know. It just does nothing. Nothing I hold that near and dear like matters to me. If someone's like, the Sixers suck, I'd be like, no, they don't. But like if they're like, well, fuck the Sixers, I'm sure. I don't know. It's like I've really I gotta pick my like not that I'm a fan of.
Should we just
like
find
my
something?
Daughter?
Should we just find
like my daughter or something where it's like those are the obvious. Those like fucking Katie or something. You know what I mean? But like I don't.
Well, that's family.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying fanship wise, like I don't give a fuck about it, which I think is liberating to some degree.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's nothing that you would storm the Capitol for.
I can't understand someone's like drive to wake up that day and do it even.
Well, I was also listening to...
I was like, if I go at 3 p.m. and watch them smash in from like the distance, I'd go watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. To get high and drink coffee and watch them storm the Capitol, I'd be like, oh fuck, they're in.
But I'm definitely, if they were like, hey,
they're fucking inside
How
the
close
windows.
would you get though? Would you if you were going with the flow of traffic, would you have suddenly walked into the Capitol?
I wouldn't have walked into the Capitol because I ain't
either.
catching a fucking felony.
Yeah.
But I would have probably walked up to the steps and been like, to a guy and been like, what's going on? And he's like, man, they're fucking stealing the election. I'm like, I ain't talking to him. And I just walk to another guy and be like, hey, what's going on? He'd be like, I work over at Staples. They're running up the stairs.
Yeah, he goes, isn't this fucking nuts? I'm like, yeah, dude, these people are wacky.
Yeah. But just to be like, fucking hey! Because you know what's funny? You say that, like fandom. I took one of my friends to Queens of the Stone Age was playing Barclay Center.
Nice.
In like 2014. And I took a friend and I was like, you don't know them. Come see them live.
Enjoy this.
You'll enjoy
love them. You'll love them.
You'll enjoy it. So we go. My friend loves the show. We go to the subway. We're taking the train back to Queens, and this drunk girl's like, Queens of the Stone Age to my friend or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it was a good show. And she's like, do you love him? He's like, oh, I don't know him. And she's like, how do you not know him? And it was that kind of shit where you're like, lady, shut up.
She was a drunk white chick.
I made the sale.
Yeah.
I had him.
Yeah.
Now you're ruining
Now
it.
you're ruining
Shut the fuck up. I had him on board.
Like the next day he was going to go out and buy like a Queens of the Stone Age flag and just start like...
Storm the Capitol. I'm like, how did that result?